Hello, everyone. Good day, good evening. This is Felix from Dash, 30 Minutes in Dash, together with me. I'm happy to welcome you back. Always good to see you again. Every Wednesday, every 2 weeks, we have this session. We're going to talk about what's happening in crypto space, what is hot, what is new, what is the trend, where are we going? And again, we have here with me Tlavi Kalva. He is the host of the Human and the Machine. His job is to make crypto human, and I'm very happy to have him here with me. Hi, Tlavi. How are you?
Fine. Very happy to have to be with you and your audience again.
Fantastic. You have a kind of a tracking bar in front of your face. I don't know where that is coming from, but it's kind of funny. I think you are. Are you in the metaverse already, or are you?
Actually,
is the machine watching you?
I have a target. Like my head has a price. So if you don't mind, allow me to turn that off. Okay, just a sec.
It looks actually really funny. I like it in a way.
Okay, then just leave it because.
There's machine learning thing. It's very interesting. It gives an interesting twist here to the things we are talking about.
Yeah. No, it's just that I'm trying a new setup. You see, like the microphone and the professional camera there, because I'm moving into doing other more stuff, right? With this influencing thing. So yeah, I didn't have anyone to click, the to push the button to focus and keep it there. So, well, sorry about that.
Funny, why not? But you also have like a writing in your face, so maybe it wouldn't be that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Just to turn it off, but hey, why not?
Let me try. Otherwise I just go to the side. Okay, just a sec.
No worries. Okay, guys. So in the meantime, I'm happy to talk a little bit. We are seeing bull movements in crypto. They're extreme. They are up to a point where sometimes it is scary if you ask what are these companies even doing. On the other hand, we're seeing a lot of stuff coming up. DeFi is hot again. Everybody's talking about crypto exchanges, about regulations, about ETFs being finally launched to the broader public, and everybody expecting that to bring in a lot of people and a lot of capital that is coming into the market. And last but not least, Facebook has rebranded itself to Meta. And that is kind of a catalyst for what is already happening in the space, I would argue, because what we are seeing in the last 3 months is that all these metaverse projects are really taking off to the extreme. I think this week alone, Sandbox has had a somewhat 200% increase, Sandbox being their project, that metaverse project where you can build your own games. So it's really exciting times, I have to say. And for me, not surprising, because again, we were discussing last 2 weeks ago here at the same spot what is actually happening with these metaverse projects, why this is so exciting, and we like kind of had a lot of ideas why this is the case. And one of them was saying, hey, we are building, a 3D internet, and it's kind of the next evolution of the internet. It's not only that suddenly this is a completely new social experience for you being in the internet and for people being online. No, it's also a completely new way of creating new job opportunities. And if you allow me, let's take a few seconds to recap that, because I think it's really, really important to understand what is happening in crypto right now and what is happening in the broader ecosystem outside of crypto. Tlavi, are you back anyway?
I am, man. I am.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I was just saying last week, we discussed this metaverse dynamic, and I think I've come to realize the more I dig into it, the more I experience these different metaverses. I've come to the conclusion that really for me, I had like this kind of magical experience where I suddenly realized, hey, it's really a next level of the internet, because I did play World of Warcraft in, what was that, 2004, right? That's almost 15 years ago. And you went in there but you didn't have to have a microphone activated. In fact, it was very much speech-based. It was only a game, right? I was like randomly running around, randomly talking to people via chat function. At one point, as my character evolved, I was joining a guild because in World of Warcraft, you needed these like 40 people to go and raid in the dungeon to kill the biggest dragon, to get the nicest sword and stuff, right? And it was a bit, it was unique for me back in the day to have these 40 people organizing themselves, and you have like hundreds of groups of 40 people to organize themselves. So what I've realized now, when you go to the metaverse, and maybe this was something also fueled by Clubhouse and speech first, voice first, social media platforms, I feel now this is kind of the next level of social experience. It's really having a one-to-one interaction with somebody based on your voice, and just me talking to you right now. It's kind of very much the same experience that I would talk to your alter ego with my 3D alter ego in this metaverse. So this alone really led me to think, hey, this was really missing in the internet. And I mean, with like many things you don't know, I didn't realize that it was missing so badly, actually, right? Because the internet is actually so bad, and it's so hard to find information if I have to find a way to ask Google for something.
Yeah, I mean, it's now that in hindsight, it's just obvious it was going to happen, right? It was just technology needed to catch up, as you know, and when we are doing some stuff related to metaverses, right? Even today, a lot of the experiences that different products are promising, they still need to wait for 5G, for example, to really like be deployed everywhere in order to really truly have the experiences that they are promising. And I mean, they're promising not because they can't deliver, but simply because there's no 5G to support all what they can do today. So in hindsight, of course, it's very, very simple to say, oh, it was missing, right? But you don't know, like you say, you don't know when you don't know, right? So it was just a clear step forward, and now it's evident.
Yeah, it's like you're actually mentioning a sentence I hear so often in crypto, right? Actually, the sentence is, in hindsight, it was inevitable. And it's very much true.
Like crypto, right? I mean, when you're crypto, trading, yes. Right? Like, oh, it was obvious it was going to go down. Why did you long it, right? Yeah. Hindsight is fantastic. Yeah, but yeah, this week, I mean, what I like is what Facebook did. Really was just they, in one single announcement, made the metaverse something. Very few people really knew about it or have heard about it, but certainly now metaverse, it's in the culture. Like it's embedded in everyone's imagination. So there's no way back. So that's a good thing. It's a shame it's Facebook. To be honest, I'm not a Facebook fan, but it's good for every other metaverse out there. I mean, you saw what Sand, right? Like almost 400% or 300%, just because of that announcement, pretty much, right? So it's telling us where we're going and where the value is going to be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good point. But yeah, I mean, there's also some downsides, right? The second element is like beyond number one, this human to human. I have a reference, even if it's a virtual alter ego, but it's a voice first interaction. So that gives it, even if you would be like a little pony, you would still have kind of a voice, right? We are probably also, it will be inevitable that we have like the voice distractors, right? Where you can, alteration, how you say, like alteration devices where, make me sound like a little pony. That could also be inevitable. Who knows?
Well, yes. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, now with all these different social, very strange things happening, right? Like I identify like a 3 years baby girl, and people actually are doing that, and people are actually getting adopted as a 3 years baby girl. And so that's a delusion. I mean, no matter how you put it, it's a delusion. But this is the way for these kind of people also to go full delusional. So it is really like, I think we're, as a civilization, we are in a very dangerous moment, in a definitory moment. I don't know if we're going downwards, right, or somehow we ride the wave upwards. But to me, it's a bit concerning, like the potential. Of course, I see the potential, right? Like when we work in these kind of environments, efficiency goes like super high, right? Like everything gets faster, right? The job, everything, integrations of all kinds are just going to be seamless, like you say. But man, it's a funny moment in time.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta say, I'm never a big fan of saying, hey, I find that good or
Yeah,
like who am I to judge if it's good or bad? Let's put it like
yeah,
that.
sure.
What I can see is that I'm not 18 anymore, and I probably have a completely different way of looking at things than somebody who grew up. I probably would be even more extreme with somebody 12-year-old who has, who always grew up in a world with iPhones. And I mean, it's like
Sure.
you can be maximum 14 years old right now to be in that world that always had an iPhone in it. And this was really for me a big, step in technology. I think in 5, 6 years from now, I kind of make this joke with people. I read multiple times now. There's some studies. If you ask people, do the telephone sign, so everybody will do like this, right? Except you are less than 18, then you will do like this and say, here, this is the telephone sign, because this is how you use telephones
Yeah.
nowadays, right? So
That's so funny because my son, right? As you know, I have 18 months old baby son, and when I played the phone with him, I do this. So it's unconscious, right? But I'm like, hello, and I'm 48, man. But I
you're
adapted,
doing
right?
this? Okay, wow,
I
that's
do, yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. When I'm with him, right? Because all he has seen is this kind of phones, right? So for him, nothing makes sense. This wouldn't make any sense for him, right? But doing this is completely fine. So you just said it. I was like, oh my god, it's so true, so true.
Okay, funny. I didn't. That's really funny that you said that you're the first older person who's adopting that or accepting that. I'm right now. I mean, I'm traveling to Germany, and the question you just asked me, is this is so sad? Is like the first comment you usually get when talking. I feel it's a bit old Europe. In Asia, it seems like everybody I'm telling this is like, wow, I want in. Where can I? Where can
Asians adopt easily.
where can I drop my life and go all in 24/7 kind of, right? And now
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're here in Germany, and it's like, yeah, but sorry, where's the human? Like, where's the reality? This is not real? Like, yeah, it's the same real like anything else. So in
Yep.
that sense, yeah.
Seems like
So
we
we
need
have
to
to
go on
make
a
a quick
break.
break. We have to go into a quick break for a minute, guys. It's very exciting. See you back in a second. Welcome back. Here we are again talking about the metaverse with Clavi Kalvar. Pleasure to
Yep.
have you again. So let me summarize what we just talked about. So we talked about changing experiences and how the new crazy actually becomes the new normal. And I just said, for me it's very astonishing. There's two differentiating factors. Like the older you are, and I would say beyond 30, it becomes really evident. And the more you are in the western part of the hemisphere, like everything, let's say Europe and West, it's kind of weird for people to, to think like this is not real, and what are people doing there? Why would I want to be a little girl in the metaverse or a pony? And kind of really have a judgmental, judging it is essentially, in a way, like to say this is for the weirdos, right?
Yeah.
So for me, this is good. Go ahead, please. No,
also has to do a lot with personalities, right?
You are stuck a little bit, Slavi. Can you try again?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I was also saying that Westerners tend to have a very individualistic, image, right? It's first individual, first a human being. In Asia, they are more like hive, right? Like bees. Like they all just move without really being concerned about their own individuality. They don't prime themselves as a unit as much as a European, for example, or someone in the American continent, or probably someone in Africa. So cultural differences matter a lot on this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was actually just talking to somebody this week, and she told me, you know what? I know so many people in Thailand who have credit card debt because they really wanted to have this Gucci bag. And definitely it's something to make them very individual, but in a very, from the perspective you just said, non-individualistic way.
Yeah, but but even that, I must say that, for example, and going back to Thailand, it didn't exist before. Thaksin, the prime minister that was, in power like 15 years ago, he was the one that really pushed for super easy credits, to get people, dependent, because most people didn't know that really this is amazing, but they were so simple-minded in this respect that they just used credit as if they never had to pay it. They never thought that they were actually going to be required to pay it. So I saw the transition because I came here more than almost 20 years ago, and there was no consumerism. There was no materialistic view of the world. Thai people were really, really we're 10 in a room and we're happy because we never face a moment of silence, So that was it. And then Thaksin came. He offered all these different credit, like cheap credits, right? And people went into debt and they started going crazy about luxurious stuff. But if you if you scratch a little the surface of Thai people, you don't find this strong core of Westerners, and Asians overall have this trait, I would say. But it's good, right? Because they are always constantly advancing, right? That's the thing with Asians, and they advance so fast because they're not questioning everything as like a European. Europeans always like I'll show you why you are wrong for 10 years, and then slowly I will have to adapt, right? Asians are like, okay, let's do it right now, and we fixed whatever is broken in the future. So for advancing, it's obvious that Asia is doing the right thing.
Yeah, good point you have there. Let's circle back a bit to the metaverse. I also have two more things in mind. Especially regarding this Facebook announcement. I mean, number one, there's really stuff happening. Number two, we are seeing, a new level of the internet, and every time we have this new level of the internet, there is kind of this narrative going around to think now everything becomes finally fair for everyone. Now the internet is becoming a better place. It's from person to person, and I guess especially this narrative is fueled by this crypto narrative to say we can now cut out all the middlemen, we can go beyond corporations and everything, right? I'm very much, in like I very much sympathize with that narrative. And for me, I mean, I'm in crypto for so long. I'm a complete crypto nerd. I of course see a lot of potential in cutting out all the bullshit and
Sure.
giving like not letting corporations earn profits, but redistributing these profits to people. This is a
Hmm.
beautiful dream, but then reality comes around the corner. And what I'm seeing right now is people are already discussing about metaverse analytics. They're discussing how they can track all the data, not only from the metaverse, but also what is in your wallet, what transactions do you do, what advertisements should I show you. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
there's a kind of a lot, don't do evil, but there's a lot of kind of shady stuff going on already. How do you see that?
There's a lot of pressure, right? I mean, people don't may not realize. I think at the core, we all realize that. For example, governments. The government wants the best for us? No, of course not. And it goes the same for anything or anyone that has power, right? People who have power, they are there to increase their power, or at least not to lose power, right? So when Bitcoin, for example, came, it was like a massive threat, right, to all the monetary system. And it's still a threat, right? But what they're doing is like they're investing in crypto as much as anyone. Right? Then DeFi, right? DeFi came and just completely created a new financial system, right? So would you be happy if you were like one of those big financial corporations? Probably not, right? So they went in. The truth is that there's a lot of corporate money right now in crypto, right? There's a lot of corporate interest right now in blockchain and everywhere. Beyond whatever we don't know. The truth is that we don't know. Why do China make all these problems with Bitcoin? To crash the price to buy more, right? So that's a problem. And there's another problem, and I think it's very important to be honest and be truthful. People, the average person, doesn't help himself or herself much. They are not active enough. If you tell them, hey, you know what, there's a alternative financial system that can benefit your life today, what will they do? Oh, no, no. I read in Yahoo or CBC or CNN or whatever. No, it's a scam, right? Instead of going and doing their homework and finding out that they actually can make up, I don't know, like 79% APY, right, on a very good coin like Cake, right? And they can make this 80%, right? It's like, no, it's a scam. And they prefer to believe the narrative rather than go and do something for themselves. So it's quite obvious that the corporations, right, they're knowledgeable. There's a lot of, they have probably some of the smartest people in the world working for them. Why not hack it, right? And if the people are so passive, well, it's even easier for them to just come in and do as they please. And we've seen it in the volatility in the crypto market has increased so much since there's like all these corporations buying in, right? Because they're just shaking the money out of those democratic but ignorant hands and getting everything for themselves.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually yeah, it's funny that you say it, that you say that. I was really thinking the same, and it's like it's not only ignorance, and it's a scam. It's very much a matter also of kind of what culture you're in and what kind of investment culture
Yeah,
you have.
of course,
I
of
feel
course.
also this is mine. I mean, now as I said, I think it's this all, and last but not least, it's an age thing. So I've had multiple conversations recently, and my understanding is that if you are 20 or younger and you live in Asia, chances are like 80% that you have had contact with crypto already. It goes a
Yep.
little bit less, but it's still high if you take that for Europe and the US.
Mm.
But if you go up, let's say 40 or younger, there you will see like big gaps, right? The likelihood that you had contact if you're somewhere in Asia or have your cultural background in Asia is still very high. whereas someone else it's not. And also then it's a question of how good or bad is it in the country to do investments. You know, my feeling is in all Europe there is not much of a financial education. In fact, it's always like a little bit of a bad thing or a thing for these, you know,
So
rich
talk about
people
money.
to talk about money or to have interest in money. So it's like, you know, it's rather, why do you waste your time thinking about money when you can go to the park and have a walk? Right? That's what kind of I feel often. And then, why not? You know, I'm not judging it. I'm just saying I hear it more often.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, coming from Mexico, I can only tell you, when you told me, right, that you started your investing life when you were like 15, 16, 17, I was like, oh my God. In Mexico, even if I wanted, there
You
was not
are
such a thing.
breaking
And
up
still
again.
today, there's not such a for all the world.
So you said there were not many chances when you were 15 to do anything in Mexico?
There was no chance,
like?
not chance. Even if I was 40 or 50 years old and I had, there was no way for normal people to have any kind of investment. So for me, crypto has been like going from baby, you know, to to an investor. That was what crypto gave me, the possibility of thinking in financial terms about my life, and suddenly get the power back, you know, for the first time in my life, to actually create wealth using money. Because the idea, and I think it's a lot of indoctrination here, is like, you have to work hard to make money. What does that make you? Work hard. But the money's not there. Money's not there. People who work hard not necessarily have a lot of money. Quite the opposite.
I like that as a final word. I have nothing to add to that. Money loves making babies, and this is why if you have money, it's good to invest it and to use compounding effects. And there's nothing that has made it so apparent like all the DeFi craze in the last 2 years. And also, I gotta say, it's nothing that has made it so mainstream to think about compounding effects and money than crypto and DeFi has. Very sad we have to stop already. The 30 minutes in Dash are over. It's actually 30 minutes in crypto and 30 minutes into everything that is relevant for us nowadays. One last thing I wanted to discuss, but let's do that in 2 weeks when we see each other again. I would like to discuss, you know, like how can you really make money and how can you make a business? What are kind of new job opportunities we're looking at? And yeah, let's continue discussing, my friend. Thank you very much for joining again. That was a great
pleasure,
talk.
man. Thank you for inviting. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in 2 weeks with 30 minutes in Dash. Slavi and me will be here again, same time, same spot in 2 weeks from now. Bye-bye.